Hey everybody, I'm Neil Sponsel, lead singer of Moonshine Mafia, and your host for Local Bands of Georgia, where we support all the local acts and bands and solo artists here in this great state of Georgia. And today we have a brand new artist, up and coming band, that is Backlash. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. It's extremely important on what it is that we're doing and trying to get the local scene all together. You see all the time these big time bands have the machine behind them. We don't have anything. We've got the local bands or the local businesses that support us, and we have to support ourselves. And as a community, we've all got to stick together. So I really, really appreciate you guys being on here. It means a whole lot, and it's just fantastic. And it's just us spreading the word on getting everybody to like, post, share, and make sure that we're all supporting each other and trying to help us out and getting in different type of venues and realizing that we're not in competition with everybody. We're trying to help everybody. And all these big bands started out as local bands. Yep. And so that's what we got to do. We got to band together. So what I want to do is just go around the room. Tell us your name, what your part in the band is, and maybe a little synopsis on how long you've been playing, and just find out a little bit more about each individual before we dive into the meat of the band topic. You want to start?
JJ, I play bass, backup vocals. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old, 1986. I never thought I'd be playing in a band. Friends, everybody I knew played guitar, played drums, and there were no bass players where I grew up. My older brother is a bass player, and a really awesome bass player. I was like, no, I'm good, thanks, guys. And they were like, just get a bass, man. We'll show you some songs. I was like, okay, and here I am, 30-something years later, 40 years later, and I'm still doing it. So I just love playing. I enjoy performing. I took right to it, and I didn't want to stop. Took about a 20-year hiatus, got back into it, and found these guys, and now we're rocking.
Awesome, man. Well, we're glad you decided to come back to the
So
scene.
So am I.
I'm Danny. I'm drums. I've been playing for about 38 years, since 1986. Took lessons for about a year, and basically after that, I just learned on myself. I've been in bands since mid-90s. Cover bands, original bands, covers and originals, doing both. Just playing around the town, enjoying every minute I can, and I can't be more blessed than I am right now. So
Absolutely.
Being with these guys, so
That's great.
It's been fun.
I see that.
So.
Well, I'm Scott, and I play lead guitar, and I do background vocals, and I've been playing for a really long time. I started playing guitar when I was about 10 years old, and I was in my first band at 16, and I'm kind of like Danny. I've done the original thing, I've done the cover thing, bands where you had both, and I just love playing guitar. It's just another way to express myself, and I'm just happy and lucky to be in a band with these guys. It's a great bunch of guys.
Absolutely.
I'm Jody. I'm the singer. I've been singing since I did a high school musical when I was in kindergarten, because I could carry a tune, and sang in all city chorus coming up through high school and junior high. Never really sang with a band. I sang in my sister's wedding back in the early 80s, and I sang with another band in West Georgia. A co-worker was the lead guitarist in that band, and we had a band that played country and rock, and we played West Georgia, college, all the bars around Carrollton, Bremen. I was living in Atlanta and commuting out to Carrollton and staying over with the guitar players' family, and I was doing that every weekend. we do back-to-back shows, not even blink an eye, and then practice twice a week, which was hard on the day job.
Right.
But I hadn't. That band broke up because of different reasons. I went and concentrated on my work life, and then I got on band mix.
Gotcha.
And got a call out of band mix for a band that was based here in Dallas, and that's where I met Danny and JJ. We had a project over there that didn't work out. They actually played out. I went on my merry way for different reasons. So I was traveling last year for my job in Texas, and I got a call from Danny. I got a text from Danny. You need to come sing with this dude. And it was like, okay, no problem. He says we're doing it for fun. If it gets not fun, we're not going to do it anymore. Because the other project turned out not to be fun, and that's one of the reasons I left. So anyway, that was May of 2023, and we've been hitting it and getting it ever since then. And we built a set list from 12, 14 songs, one row over there on the board, through democratic selection processes.
Right.
I got to bring some in that I knew, and they already had a base, and Scott brought some, Danny brought some, JJ brought some. We all agreed on some. We're up to 45, 50 songs now. That's our set list, and we've been told we're on the right track with that. So it's still a democratic process, when we pick our songs, and I think that's what keeps us going and doing it. We don't get stressed out too much on that. But,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I love singing with these guys. I just do it from here. I hope I'm in pitch. That's I know I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. So
no complaints yet, man.
And it's these guys are behind me. I just find it's remarkable when you can get 4 guys together at least once a week to commit to this, and
Absolutely.
then they're there when you say you're going to be there. We have a structure about practice when we get here. Everybody knows their part. We practice at home and rehearse here together, so that works out tremendously well. And we hit some open mics together. We're one of the few groups that got together and not too proud to go out and do an open mic.
Yeah.
And got some good feedback on that. And this is our promoter right here, Scott. He's on Facebook. He's not only promoting us, he's promoting every other doggone band in town, and he knows a lot of people. And I went into Hot Frog. When we first started out, dropped a card off. Like next thing you know, Hot Frog does his guitars. Brad says, "Yeah, I know Scott." And so there was a little commonality there. And then
my kid takes drum lessons there.
JJ's kid takes drum lessons there. So kind of all around, it's a very small world. When you go out here and actually start talking to people that do this, and that's just the word of mouth stuff that I can't believe we booked as much as we booked here in the last 2 months since Christmas.
By word of mouth.
Yeah, we did the charity thing for the CYA or CY thing over there for Christmas
Toys
time.
for Tots.
It was Toys for Tots thing at Reed's.
The Cobb County Youth Authority.
Right, that's right. CY. They that was a last minute gig. The lady that what was her name? Linda. Her band broke up. She called us and said, "Hey, can you do it?" We went over there on 5 days notice or whatever it was. 23rd of December for Christmas Eve, and we went out there and we rocked our socks off, and
had a good time.
I had a good time, and it was for a worthy cause, so that makes it even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got
all our tips went to donations to the kids.
It's fantastic.
Exactly. So
nice.
That's kind of that's a short story long. But I hope I didn't steal all your material.
No, you're good. I mean, we kind of got into the first topic of, how the band came together, but it sounds like you guys were out of the game for a little bit. The itch never goes away.
Well, me and Danny had been trying to find other things.
Yeah.
And I had gotten to the point where it was like, I went
Like
to my wife.
Like 2 months, right?
Yeah, almost 2 months looking for something else. I looked at my wife. I was like, would you mind if I started trying to put a band together and playing here? And she's like, I don't mind at all. Like,
That's
yeah,
great.
okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask how JJ, you and Scott had gotten involved. It sounds like you had gotten something going on Band Mix, and then hit up Danny, and you guys started getting rolling. How did you two guys get in the mix?
Scott, me and Danny had actually had out a guitar player that he knows, that Scott knows.
Which at the time we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know Scott then. But
And we actually jammed
it wasn't
together.
working out with this guy, but he had suggested Scott. He's like, I think I got the perfect guy for y'all to try out. He came out the first night, and we just had songs that just fell together right there, boom, 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 with a different singer that we had in here at that time. And it was just like, okay, we found our guitar player, and then we lost the singer.
Yeah.
So it was like, but the three of us kept going. We kept nailing the songs that we had. We kept building a set list, and I was singing what I can of it just to get through the songs to make sure we were getting the timing of it and everything. And he called Joe D, and I even texted you. I was like, when can you come over? You know? He came in, and it was that final piece. We went through every song that we had in our set list, and it was like we had been playing together for months already.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing how quick that happened. And then it just came when nose to the grindstone of hashing out the next 40 songs that we needed to be able to fill a bar.
Absolutely.
A night.
Absolutely.
And that's what we did. And then when we were ready, we went and hit Timbers for an open mic and Reed's for an open mic and started kicking in doors.
Yeah, I know it was crazy because all of a sudden I'm seeing Scott play guitar, and I've met Scott several times at Reed's, us playing. I had no idea he played guitar. Never knew this. And then all of a sudden, Backlash is here, Backlash is doing this open mic, and I'm like, how did this happen? What is going on here? I mean, because you guys came hot on the scene. From my perspective, I'm like, man, these guys are good. They're going to start doing some really good stuff.
I mean, when Joey got in the band back in May last year, you know, we took about 3 months, 4 months before we go. I mean, it's Justin. It wasn't. Everybody had to agree to do it.
Absolutely.
I said, you guys want to do an open mic? To me, that's probably the only way to get our feet wet, but to get people to know us as bars and hopefully to book us, you know, and that's basically how we got started is the open mic nights.
Right.
You know, and to anybody out there, that's the best way to do it to me.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
You want to get your feet wet at the same time and get booked, there's your ticket.
Yeah.
You know?
The response we got when we were done said it all. It's like, okay, we're on the right track.
Yeah, it was, you only get 3 songs. You know, Eddie's pretty tough over there at Timbers. You only get 3 songs. You know, boom, boom, business, get out. Got other people. I'm going to get you in there. We got day jobs, so we can't be in there at midnight.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
waiting to get up. So he says, I've got you in there at 8 o'clock. We're going to get you in here in that 8 o'clock slot. We got out there, and I did my mic check, some kind of wonderful. I had the whole freaking bar singing with me a cappella.
That's a great one.
Yeah, and you know, we got into our set list, and we got our 3 done, and I was ready to unplug and go, and Eddie's like, do another one. So we played 4, and if you want to count my warm-up song, that's 5.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, you snuck one in on them.
Yeah, we snuck one in. You know, and I did the same thing over there at
Timbers.
at Reed's.
Yeah, Reed's.
At Reed's, you know, it's like I got to have a vocal check, you know, and I picked a different song, but still.
They dragged us down there for their Sunday leftovers
Yeah.
at Reed's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they didn't let us leave.
Yeah.
We hit the stage and we ended up
Hey,
playing about
10
12,
songs?
13 songs.
Yeah,
Loved it.
We almost played a whole set.
That's awesome,
We
man.
play a whole
That's
set.
like, okay.
And Greg Reed kept calling it. Do another one, guys. Do another one, guys. Do another one, guys. And he was over on the side playing keyboards with us.
Once you figured out what key we were playing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Linda's like, do another one. You know, her and her husband were there. They were out dancing.
So
For a Sunday, we kept people there.
I think fortunately for us, we have progressed in such a rapid manner because we've had a lot of support from other people.
Yeah.
and that's really made a difference.
They're his people. We went over
They're
to
everybody.
We went over to Hot Frog.
There are
you know,
people
and
too now.
we had 67.
That's right.
We had 67 people at Hot Frog. How do I know? Because I had Cash App, and we had to pay out the person at the door to run. We were playing for the door.
Right.
So we had 67 people there.
That's not including the people that were on our guest list.
Right. And you know, 40 of those 67 were his people that I'd seen at Reed's, that knew him, that come up there to see him. You know, and it was like, hey, I don't care how you get there. And a lot of those were musicians that came up there. You know,
Yeah.
And they're coming up there giving positive feedback. You know, Sean, he ran the board a little bit for us over there at Reed's. He came in to Hot Frog, and he heard our first warm-up set, and he comes over to me and he says, can I run the board again? I said, well, it's Brad's system. It's his venue. I'm thinking, okay, I'll leave him alone. So, but, you know, a lot of people wanting to kick in.
Help.
And we're
Any
really
way they
grateful
can.
for that.
Yes,
We're grateful
Absolutely.
for you interviewing us.
Absolutely. And that's the whole process of doing what we're doing for local bands of Georgia. You've heard two prominent names already. You've heard Hoppy Frog. We support local businesses here in Georgia, local music spots. And you've heard Reed's. Reed's is a big musician family. And then when you guys have musicians that are coming out, I mean, that's pretty awesome. You want musicians to come to your show and give you the feedback. And if you're a musician and you're going to see another band play, it's because you want to go see them play. Well, it's awesome to see that, because I know when you go through that grueling process of putting a band together, this person fits or this person doesn't fit, and then you get that gel that you have to have in the band, and then you work so hard for those 3 or 4 months to go out there, and you got the crowd in the palm of your hand. Everything feels like this is what we were supposed to be doing. This is what we worked hard for, and it's great to see you guys doing that. So
And we're having fun doing it.
Exactly.
It's not. We put our own spin on every song that we do. You know, but there's a heart that we give it, and you can tell when we're playing that we're all in it. You know, we're all enjoying the time that we're having with each other and loving what we are doing. We all said from the beginning, if we're not having fun, then there's no point in doing this.
totally agree with you.
You know, if
Totally
I'm not
agree.
having fun, it's time to stop. Because that's the whole reason this is. This isn't my livelihood. I have a regular job, but I enjoy playing music. That we all do. And if you have a great nuclei of guys, it just makes it so much easier to go out there and do that and look like you're having fun. To where the people that are watching you are having fun watching you have fun.
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing about young musicians, go back and listen to everything that they're doing to get the process started, and the things that you have to do, and going to open mics and not accepting a person to be in the band that's not going to fit. You can have all the greatest musicians in the room and they be awesome, but if you don't fit together, then it's going to be a disaster. You got to be humble, and you've got to go through the motions on putting everything together and working together, and that's exactly what you guys have done, and it's definitely paying off, because all the stuff I've seen you guys do has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who's helped us. Thanks to the other musicians. You have to look at it as a team within your band, and just like we say all the time when we talk with each other, the local music scene. If
Yes.
one of us dies, eventually we all die.
Right.
Keep the music scene, local music scene happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't hurt to help out the next band, promote the next band, check out their shows. Because if they're good people, they're going to do the same thing
Yeah.
for you.
Absolutely. And if you guys need a promoter,
He's good at it.
I mean, he promotes every band on the planet and artist, and I see the love that you have for everybody, and it's and seeing the love that everybody is bringing to you guys,
yeah.
and it's great to have that support system like you guys have gotten, and it's obviously going pretty well, because everyone is speaking out about Backlash, and we got to get these guys in here. And anything we can do to get these guys in other venues, we need to get their contacts, and we'll have that. We're going to put that in at the end of the show, and just make sure you get these guys in your venues, because they're not going to let you down. The next thing that I want to get it into is, what were your music influences right from the start? And is there anyone new that has cropped up that you've enjoyed?
I grew up in a musical family. My uncle was a jazz drummer. My great uncle was a horn player, played with big bands back in the day. My brother's a bass player. My family had music in the house 24/7. I grew up on everything from Amadeus to Zeppelin, and everything was an influence. My R&B, 60s, doo-wop, 70s music I got from my brother. 80s, big hair metal, that was me. That was where I was in my moment.
I can relate.
That was my high school days, and that was what we did. And then, the 90s rolled around and everything changed. And I still played the music, didn't quite enjoy it as much. Now I enjoy it compared to what I'm stuck listening to for what's out there now. And as far as new music, there's nobody that really stands out for me, personally. That makes me go, wow. It just.
I was kind of expecting that.
No, it doesn't happen. But I mean, I'd rather listen to classical.
Absolutely.
Than listen to something that was, it's got to have heart. And if it doesn't have a heart, I just can't even fathom it.
I gotcha.
No.
Absolutely.
When I started playing, the era I grew up on was the hair band 80s, the 80s hair bands. That's basically all I listened to. When I started playing in bands, and like I said, mid-90s, played some of that, and then I really started getting into more of the 70s style, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that, because I was like, wow, I think I would never play that kind of stuff until I got into a band, because bands were playing that.
Right.
So, that's basically what I grew up on, is the 80s. It's just, and everything else just slowly just grew on me by playing. I like a lot of it now, because it's definitely a learning experience to learn all these types of songs, and good to fill in once in a while. Go to, like I said, open mic nights.
Right.
You say, hey, I know that song. You don't want to be at the guy like, I don't know that song. It's just some songs I have. But that's, it's pretty simple, with me.
Yeah.
I'm just love playing music, now with anything that strikes my ear that sounds good, we'll bring it up to these guys, but that's about it,
Gotcha. How about you, man?
As far as guitar playing influences, I was fortunate enough to be brought up in an era where, in my opinion, you were exposed to some of the greatest guitar players in all different genres, from funk to hard rock, metal. So I had like a constant diet of listening to Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, Yngwie Malmsteen. Not saying I'm on the level of those guys, but on the flip side, Prince, Ernie Isley, Jesse Johnson, George Benson. So being a child of that time period, you could draw such great influence as far as your guitar playing from so many different genres. And as far as just music as a whole, I'm kind of like JJ. I grew up listening to rock, R&B, 50s rockabilly, some country, disco, funk. I'm more so into a really good song as opposed to a specific genre.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty much it.
All right. How about you?
I'm from the Midwest. Paper Wine, Journey, West Coast, but still, Bad Company, Foghat, Triumph. You know, that's what I cut my teeth on. And I'm more keyed to vocalists. Lou Gramm, you know, Paul Rogers.
Yep.
You know, Steve Perry. Just the guys that knew how to have soul in their voice.
You're speaking my
Grand Funk, you know, Burton Cummings with the Guess Who. That's what I emulate. That's what I try to reproduce when I sing. I've got soul. I try to do soul. You know, I'm not much of a technical. I love Rush, but you know, Geddy Lee's too high for me to cover. But I love Rush. I loved Rush when I was a kid. But you know, it depends on where I was in my life. When I lived in Iowa, you know, those were the Midwest bands. I moved to. I graduated and moved to Milwaukee, and that's where my hair band days. I graduated in '81, and that was the peak. I had hair. I mean, I had a good friend of mine that I met up there. He was a drummer, and I would sing. His buddy played guitar, so we didn't have a bass, but you know, we would go out to all the shows. That's when you could go in Milwaukee to the Eagles Club, which is a big club up there. You could go down to Chicago, right down the Lake Michigan. Yeah. I saw Sammy Hagar coming back from his European tour. He played 3.5 hours. He not only played Montrose, he played all his stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an awesome. So, and I got the tickets for free off of one of the radio stations.
Nice.
So I got a free bus ride down there. Rosemont Horizon. I don't even know if it's there, but that was the venue it was in Chicago. But you know, when you went to the Eagles Club, it was, you could see the big bands in a venue that didn't hold 1,200 people. Then you had Alpine Valley, which was in outside of Milwaukee, where you could. It was a bowl, kind of like Red Rocks, only it was a ski resort, and at the bottom was a stage. I saw Rod Stewart there. I saw Scorpions there. You know, a lot of live music experience. Then I moved to Atlanta. REM. I knew that progressive music was coming out. I loved REM when I lived in Milwaukee, and when I moved down here, I met a friend at his Christmas tree cutting farm, which was one of my first jobs that I had when I got down here, and he was going to school in Athens, and we went up to the 40 Watt Club and saw REM 5 times before they got big.
Nice.
You know, they played in a church. I can't remember what the church was, but when they didn't play at 40 Watt, they would have like a church that was across the street that they would play in, and it was like an after party. You could go up there and you know. So I got into that scene with, you know, and then coming down to the Fox Theater every year. They'd come, REM would come for Thanksgiving and do 4 shows down at the Fox Theater. And I was there every year after, you know, going to see him in Athens. I followed him.
I didn't know you were that big of an REM fan.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Michael Stipe is another vocalist. It's unique. Yeah. I could hear him sing the phone book. And, you know, and he's just got that intriguing voice, you know. Smithereens were, you know, one of my big, I like Smithereens. Georgia Satellites, you know, and being in that Buckhead area, you know, I bumped into the brother of the guy who founded the Georgia Satellites, went over to his house, partied in the basement, saw the Platinum album. You know, he was living in his basement of his mom's house, and that was Georgia Satellites had their Platinum album up there, and it's my brother. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a founding member, singer. But anyway, that's kind of where I was. It kind of dictated what I was into at the time. But I've always been into live music. Music Midtown when it first came out, you know, I was down there for all that. I would go to down before they changed the name. A lot of live music I went to, you know, and just being down there in it, it made you feel a part of it. And there again, you understand once you get down there in it. There's a lot of people down there. It's a small world.
It is.
Just people bump into each other. You see that? Yeah, I know you from Georgia. I
Right.
saw you up in Athens, you know, and they're following the same band that I'm following. You
Right.
know? And there's a commiseration. Of course, there was drugs and alcohol involved in there, which helped to smooth everything. Lubricated everything there. So, you know, kind of into that scene. I wasn't married. I didn't get married till I was 40. So, and that's one of the reasons I didn't get married, because I was still having fun. You know, I have a buddy of mine, TJ. He's a singer-songwriter. I've known him for 30 years. He used to come over to my house. I lived with I was roommates with a bunch of people, and we would pick in the back of my house in the patio, and it was backed up to a church parking lot, and we'd be out there picking and singing songs, and therefore, you know, there'd be 15 people out there in the parking lot. We don't even know. They'd park their cars up there. Mm-hmm. Hey, don't stop. So we used to go up to Tennessee. Juggling Jim owned Fee Hedrick Entertainment, and they owned a lot of venues, theaters up there on the Strip. Black Bear Casino, Black Bear Theater. Comedy Barn was the first one that they got. And Jim knew all of the musicians. He employed them in all those theaters down there, and they would come down to the River House, Juggling Jim's house, and we would have a jam session. We'd come there on a Friday night. We'd jam. We'd get up and go to the UT, University of Tennessee football game on Saturday morning. We'd come back. We'd jam again Saturday night, and on the way home, we'd stop at a golf cart course. Me, Jim, and TJ, and we'd go play 18 holes and come back to Atlanta. Did that for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, and I met so many musicians that were doing this as their day job in Pigeon Forge. And, you know, they were outstanding, flat pickers, you know, and it was just, they treated me as an equal. Because, I can play and sing guitar around a campfire. And that's, a lot of people can't sing and play at the same time. So, you know, my buddy TJ could do the same thing, and he's got a low, he's got a high, low, and I got the high, and we harmonized and some stuff, and they were, you know, and have these folks saying, look at you and do that, so you must be doing something right, you know. So give me a tug off of that ball, but I'll show you something else, you know. So I've come over and played guitar with these guys, and you know, I put the guitar away and concentrate on the vocals. You know, but when I'm at the house, I got 5 guitars in my living room. I go out in the back deck and I play.
We going to see the guitar in the near future?
You know, maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think we should.
You know,
I saw the smile on your face.
he kept saying, "When are you going to play with me, Jody? When are you going to play with me? When are you going to play with me?" And I, you know, I never played with had to go with the drummer.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you play by feel. And, you know, to have somebody that's playing bass and playing drums, they got to be in the pocket, you got to hit it on the right.
Absolutely.
You know, when you're
totally
out,
different.
You play, exactly, when you're playing around a campfire with other people
change the
that are
speed
picking,
all you want when you're around the campfire.
Exactly. And you don't think about it. You don't really, you just play. You just, like you said, you don't, it's the song, you know. Some of my influences that we don't do here, I'm a big Chris Stapleton fan. I like Eric Church. I like George Strait. I've always loved. I saw George Strait in my hometown at the Ramada Inn. He was playing in the parking lot for the Muscular Dystrophy Marathon. Wow! And I lived on 3rd Street, which was 1 block over. So I walked right up. You know, the Holiday Inn. We used to play tag in elevators in the hotels, high-rise hotel. And George Strait. I didn't know who George Strait was. He hadn't made it big yet, but it was like, man, that hits you here. Yeah. That country music, you know, and he was. You know, impressive. I still, anything he does. So and we did some country. I harmonized on the country part when we were doing the rock and country thing for Off Limits was the name of the band when we had the group in Carrollton. You know, and I used to sing when I worked. I used to wear headphones. I do acoustical ceilings and stuff back when I had my tools on. And Tim, the guitar player, was a ceiling man too. And I'd had earbuds in, and I'd be singing. And he'd come over to me one day, and he goes, "Man, you want to come to Carrollton and try out?" I said, "Try out for what?" You know, and that, she down there had some songs. You know, back then you couldn't go on the computer and click on something and click and paste, click and paste, click and paste. I had to sit down there and listen to the tapes, the ones that I didn't know, and write them out. Right. And those are the songs that are still here.
Because you wrote them down.
Stick, you know, and it's scary. You know, there's a part of your brain that engages when you write something down. Your retention is like 90%. If you see it, if you hear it, if you write it down, your retention's 90%. You know, and I'm living proof of that because you know I'm pulling songs out of my butt for these guys that you know that I used to play with that other band.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I know them by heart. I wake up at night singing, running lyrics in my head for some of those songs, you know. And when I'm studying the songs that I don't know, you know, that's something that maybe other singers do, but I run lyrics in my head. Sometimes I try to go to bed and I'm running lyrics, trying to run lyrics, go through, you know, so I can. You're a singer.
I can relate.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I can relate.
You know, you get that in your head, and I wake up, I sing on the way to work, I sing on the way home from work, I whistle at work. You know, I got it in here, you know, and after penning it up for, you know, 25, 30 years, it's just, you got to get it out. You know, my buddies tell me, man, yeah, you sound pretty good for a senior citizen. It's like, and it's like, yeah, you know, same to you, buddy. But,
Yeah.
you know, why are you doing it? Why are you know, got people, what are you doing? I said, number one, these guys like it. You know, some people like it. I can. I do it because I can. But I also got to get it out. Like you said about the itch.
Yes.
It's an itch.
Oh yeah.
And I got to get it
yes,
out.
It is.
If I don't get it out, I have a few beers. We're not practicing on a Friday. I go up to BB's and I do karaoke.
Yeah.
They know me up there, you know, and I bring the house down.
Yeah.
You know, it's not fair, you know, to the other folks that are singing.
It's
there.
all right.
But
I do it too from time to time.
yeah. I mean, you know, it lets you get out there, lets you emote, lets you do your thing, and it makes you feel good. You go back to your chair, and the people are high-fiving you all the way back to the chair.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. That's
It's like you just scored a
yeah,
touchdown.
exactly. You got to go back and sit back and ring.
Well, that's our touchdown.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're not playing football, but we're getting up there and we're still entertaining. And then when you get that instant gratification of having the crowd feed into what you're doing, it's just...
I enjoy reading the faces.
Yes.
You look out and you can see that they are enjoying it. You can see it on their faces that they're enjoying what they are seeing. That's my rush. That's like, okay. Yes. Then I look around and they're having a good time too, and it's like, you can't beat this.
Oh, I can relate. And when the dance floor is full,
Yes, definitely.
you just can revel in that moment, and it
Drag
never,
this one out.
Yeah,
Drag
exactly.
this one out.
Keep going. But yeah, it's great hearing you guys' story, and I know the feeling that you got because I still have it every time that we're doing it. All right, so I wanted to get into how did the name Backlash come?
Danny.
All right.
There seems to always be a story
Well, we
on
went through,
Backlash.
It was here when I got here. So.
Yeah.
This was on me and JJ.
So how'd that come about?
Well, I mean, we were just going through names, and
This one,
something stuck out about this one.
Yeah, something stuck out. Something simple.
It was
You know,
easy.
it's just
And then I was sitting at work, and I was like, let me just see what I can come up with for a logo.
we've gone.
And that
through
fell
all the-
together, and
yeah.
it was like, hey, I got this. It's like,
this was
Here we go.
before Jody was in the band, and it was just us three texting back and forth. I said, "What about this? Nah. What about this? Yeah, that's cool." And I put Backlash. Well, yeah.
That one
might
stuck.
work.
It
That
stuck.
kind of stuck. So I mean, it's something simple and something that would just pop out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's basically how we went with it. You know,
Wanted
it's
something
just-
simple that wasn't forgettable. You know, like, oh, what was that band last night?
Yeah.
Like Backlash. Yeah.
Well, I mean, great graphics. I like how it's written and
would be on him.
the flames and everything that's get in there. And yeah, Backlash it's powerful. Well, it symbolizes something strong, and you're
it's
not
coming at
you're
you.
you're not going to forget.
Yeah.
You're gonna get backlash. So that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely love it, and it's catching on pretty quick. And you guys just gotta get some T-shirts.
That's
Sorry.
next. It's coming.
T-shirts and I think
You-
they're working on
picks.
right?
Guitar picks.
Heck yeah,
To give out
Yeah.
nice.
shows.
Yeah,
So that's coming. So
The
deal.
merchandising.
merchandising. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's-
I'm a fisherman, you know, and we went out and played the first open mic over there at Reed's. Had one guy in the audience. He goes, "Backlash. That's what I get in my bait caster when I'm out there fishing." Backslash up in the reel. And it's like, you know what? I'm a fisherman too. Been a fisherman since I can remember. And, I never used a bait cast because of Backlash. And when he said that, it was like, I never thought about it. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Well,
you're
then
right.
y'all going to have to do a fishing song now.
Or get a T-shirt that got this on the front and a bait caster reel that's got a rat's nest sitting on the top.
Yeah.
That'll be our mascot.
Yeah.
The rat's nest reel.
What the hell is that?
Backlash in a bad way.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
I was thinking of some chick holding a cat of 9 tails, but okay, a fishing reel.
Well, you can do a poll.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you guys want to see here? You want to see the rod and reel with the Backlash on it, or do you want to see the girl with the cat? And the
I'm
nine
just gonna
tails?
have a girl with cat 9 tails with
And
a
a
fishing
fishing
rod.
reel
Oh,
in
the
the other hand.
Picking the Backlash, picking the rat's
Oh,
nest.
goodness. Yeah. All right. Well, the next thing I want to find out, what is next for Backlash? I know you guys have just gotten together, but you are catching some heat pretty quick, and I see you guys are starting to get booked pretty good.
Got the AMVETS coming up on the 16th, but that's a members only.
Members only.
It's like a member appreciation party. Then we'll be back at Reed's.
April 13th,
April 13th.
Saturday. We start at 9 p.m. until 1.
And in May,
In May, we're actually doing the New Band Friday at
New Music,
278
New
South.
Music 278
Awesome.
South.
Awesome.
And that's from 9 p.m. until
12:30.
12:30, I think. And then we actually play the Atlanta Harley-Davidson store in Lithia Springs on Thornton Road. And that's May the 31st. Now, that's a little bit earlier. That's 5 p.m. in the afternoon until 9 p.m.
Is that going to be outdoors?
Yes.
It's going to be
Okay.
outdoors.
cinema. What's the cinema?
It's cinema. Well, we got
No.
the Dallas Food Truck.
Dallas Food Truck too.
Dallas
We've got
Food Truck Friday.
Friday. The Dallas Food Truck Friday. That's going to be
They
June.
shut down the whole city of Dallas there.
Yes, that's
Downtown.
awesome.
Have you
Absolutely.
played it?
I've never played it, but the last time that we went and checked it out, No Sweat was playing, and I had never been, but man, all the people and the food trucks and the camaraderie, man, it was freaking awesome. That was a good time.
Well, we had Brett, the guy that runs the
Brett
clamshell, the sound guy over here. Like, was it a week ago?
Last Sunday. Yeah.
He was at the Hop Frog show. I'm standing talking to Brad in front after we did our sound check. Brad, the owner of Hop Frog, and he said, I don't want to freak you out, but I invited a guy named Brett. This guy in there
Brett
with the
Reese,
white,
yeah.
that's got the white hair in there. He does all
Okay.
the Food Truck Fridays,
Yeah.
and he books all the stuff for Dallas's
For downtown Dallas.
venues. He says, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to freak you out. Like, you had to age it in the deal. So, anyway, I didn't. Okay, great. I didn't tell these guys. We went in there and did our thing, and Brett was on his feet. Woohoo, woohoo. And he took me and Danny off to the side after our first set. And he goes, I'm Brett. Here's one of my cards. He said, I really like to, you would really fit into the Food Truck Friday thing. And I'll probably get you June, July, August. I don't know where I'm gonna fit you, but you definitely. I love your set list. I love your energy. He says, you guys are hitting it on all 4 cylinders. Da 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 da. And it's like great. So I gave him the card, our promoter. And next thing I know, he's sending texts. He's over at where were you at? Where'd you meet Brett at? At
278.
he was at 278 watching the show, and he says, "That man, I'm talking to Brett right now. He wants to come over to a practice to kind of see what our sound looks like because he's a sound guy. He mixes, he produces as well. And it's like, do y'all mind? It's like, I don't.
Nope.
We're good.
No,
we're good. So that was last
Couple
Friday.
weeks ago.
No, we go Sunday.
We go Sunday, okay. And he came in.
weeks ago.
He came in, and he brings a guy in named Robert, who used to be the board mixer for all the folks over at 96 Rock. What was his
Now he runs Blade Runner Radio.
Blade Runner Radio?
What's his name?
Robert,
I think.
Robert O'Neill, I think.
Robert O'Neill. Because I used to work at 96 Rock.
big guy. Big guy.
He's taller than him.
He's I'm 6'5.5". I think he's like 6'7".
But I can't remember what was the weird like radio name that he had.
Blade Runner Radio.
No. On 96 Rock, he had something with the horror in it. He was like he had a weird call name. Like they would call me so and so. And it had the word horror in it. I swear to God, he said that.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, but that's what I was like. I don't remember.
I don't think I would have been able to forget.
But anyhow.
But back to the shows, we're doing the Dallas Food Truck Friday on June the 21st. I think that one starts with around about 7 o'clock a.m.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 to 10.
And we're going to be a part of the Hogtoberfest back at the Atlanta Harley Davidson store on Thornton Road in Lithia Springs, and that's going to be on October the 24th, I think, right?
Something like that.
October 24th, and that's going to be a morning gig from like 11 a.m. until 3 p.m.
And there's going to be multiple bands.
Multiple bands.
Okay, cool.
That's
cool.
for their Oktoberfest. So
Nice.
Hogtoberfest.
My bad.
And then we've got Cinema Tavern and
That's going to be on July the 27th.
Okay.
And that's 9 p.m. until...
first show there too.
Yeah, that's our first show.
And that's boots on the ground. You know, you can send out all your videos and stuff like that, but he takes the time, him and his lovely wife Helen, our band mom. Hi Helen, love you.
Love you.
They go out and they're scouting. Basically is what they're doing. He's passing out cards. That's how he's booked these gigs.
Yeah.
You know, and anybody can turn you down, you know, when you're not face to face with them. But if you're there, take time to go watch somebody else, which he does.
Absolutely.
And you take time to promote somebody else, what he does, then they see that, and you know, it's like he's there. What's your band? You know, and he's boots on the ground, and that's how he's been able to book these gigs for us. You know, thank you so much.
Thank
Big
you.
guy,
Thanks for having a great band for me to promote.
Yeah.
And it serves to.
It's not a hard sell.
I was about to say it's
not
an
a hard
easy
sell.
sell. Yeah. When you've got the product that people want to see and buy into and want to support, then it's gonna take off really, really quick, as it has.
And it serves multiple purposes because you can go out, network with other musicians, network with venues, support other musicians. They can support you. Thanks to you, Neil, you have given me the heads up and given me contacts.
Yeah, we've exchanged some numbers, and that's the one thing that we're talking about here is go back and watch and listen to what these guys are saying. You're not going to catch all of it. You can go back. I go back and I take notes on every interview that I do because you've got really solid nuggets on how to build the product that people want to hear and see. And you guys are saying everything that the young musicians need to listen to in order to have a viable product that people want to go out and support. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But yes, you've got to be boots on the ground promoting, or you're not going to get in a venue. But you also have to have the product that people want to see in order to get in there. I mean, if you're just starting out and you don't have things right, I would say stay in the basement until you do. Because you can never make another first impression, and you can't go out and play in a venue and be sloppy on it.
But with that being said, too, don't tear yourself apart to the point where you leave the basement
right
either.
It doesn't have to be note for note. It's rock and roll.
You're playing if you're a studio player, you've got to be nuts on. Everything's got to be perfect.
Right.
If you're playing live in a bar, you have the melody, you have the lyrics, you have the solo. Those are the three things that are going to stand out the most to an audience. As long as you got something that's keeping them engaged, they're not going to see the mistake. They're not going to hear the missed note, a missed line, because they're having so much fun and they're singing along with you because they know the songs.
Absolutely.
If they're that engaged, they're not going to notice your mistakes. Relax. Have a good time. Let the music enjoy itself. Let yourself enjoy yourself with your bandmates.
Right.
That's all you can do.
And you want to be proactive. You want to be confident, but by the same token, don't be arrogant.
Absolutely.
Don't be pushy.
Egos get you nowhere.
Exactly. Have confidence in what you do. Be willing to work. Be willing to be persistent. But there's a way to do it. Don't step on toes unnecessarily. Don't step on toes at all if you can help it.
Right.
Don't piss off your sound man. Straight up. Do not piss off your sound man.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's good, bad, or indifferent. He will make you or break you.
Yeah.
Be nice to the guy.
And like I said, help other musicians because they will help you. You know,
Absolutely.
it's a family. Because I'd heard through the grapevine a few years ago from another local musician, and he said to me, I'm having to book gigs further and further away. And he lives in this area too. He was like, because all the venues, man, they're either closing down altogether or they're not featuring live bands anymore. He's like, this scene is dying in this area, and I'm thinking to myself, we need to do something because there are so many talented people. There's so many great bands.
Yes.
I hate it because usually there are multiple bands I'd like to see in one night, but I'm not a spring chicken, so I can't bar hop like I used to.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need an outlet. You know, we need a place to express ourselves, to have fun, you know.
Yeah.
We don't want this to die.
Thankfully, there's still venues out there that are still pressing for live bands.
I think it's coming back pretty strong here lately.
Like I said, when I moved here in '96, live bands were nothing but original acts. You know, it was if you could throw a cover in your set, but it was 90%, 45-minute showcases, no matter where you went, and it was no money. You were not getting paid.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
jackassing a 410 cabinet all over Atlanta for no money.
Yeah.
And it was like, but nobody wanted to do covers. Bars weren't asking for covers. And it just, and I want to say, that was about when I put down my bass and picked up a pool cue and discovered I could get my dinner with either one. But you can't, I'm sorry, I got confused for a minute. There was no cover bands. So when it finally started coming back around to where I started looking again, and that was, I think, 2018, I started looking and I started seeing their venues were having live bands playing cover bands. It's like, okay. So I started looking again, and I managed to find this dude. And thank God, because I was going to go nuts. I was sitting in basically this setup right here with just me and my bass and playing along with whatever I could find on the radio
Right.
and stuff. And that only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
So when I got the itch and found him in the last project, and then that fell apart, I was like, I can't let this stop now. There's just no way. So thankfully, we got something that's really good here.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it was a rough start. You know, I think a lot of, you know, just, yeah, but I think all what we've all been through, to be quite honest with you, it's paid off.
Absolutely.
I can't be more blessed than anything than play with these guys. You know,
I feel the same way.
you know, it's playing with JJ for 2-3 years, and Jody I've played for a while. Scott, you know, luckily the guy that we used to have that was in the band when we were starting, you know, named Scott for us. So that was very
Scott was a blessing
yeah.
when he showed
I
up.
was being thankful that the guy did that for us. You
Yeah.
know,
Because we were
And
starting to
vice
get to
versa.
the point where it was like, okay, did we make a mistake? You know?
Right.
I built a room, man. We need a guitar player, man.
You build it, they will come.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Field of dreams, baby.
Exactly.
And it's been ever evolving since. And it's been just about over a year I built this. So
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Well, before we wrap up, is there any other advice that you would want to give any of the young musicians that are starting out, the young bands that are trying to put something together? I know we've hit on some of the things, but if you could think of anything that
don't
would
give
benefit.
up. Don't give up. It's a lot of work to find people to play with, but once you find that one person, and then they'll help you find the others, and that's how it works. You just got to have patience, and don't get mad. and don't yell at the singers.
I think it's, either way you take your music talent, either as a cover band or it's doing your original thing. Have a lot of patience. Be prepared for the ups and downs of this type of atmosphere or career, however you want to take it. We've all been through that. But it's definitely a learning process. It's a learning experience, more to say. Have fun. You know, to me, we've all said that. It's if it's around having fun, why do it?
I don't think we can express that anymore.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, but I think the biggest thing that people, when you're putting a group together, is communication. I think communication is more important. I don't care if you got 3 in the band, 4 in the band, 8 in the band, it doesn't matter. But I really think that's the biggest thing trusting someone, yeah, it should be there as well. But communication too. If you don't communicate, how could you trust somebody?
Exactly.
You know? So I've been through that a lot. So to me, that's the number one thing is communication. You know, and just, be patient. You know, you're gonna get there. You know, it might take a couple of years. It might take longer.
Some people, it might come just extremely naturally.
You know.
Yeah. It happens. People just pick up stuff and they just pick up and run. Mm-hmm. But whatever you do, have fun with it.
Be on time.
Be on time.
Oh yes. Be on time.
Dependable. If you're late, that means you don't respect the time of these other guys that were here at the time they said they were going to be here. I mean, accidents happen, life happens, but be on time, communicate with somebody if you're not going to be on time.
Yeah.
Or if you got to cancel.
Let somebody know.
Be on time. Take reasonable breaks when you're doing your sets. We try to keep it at 15, 20 minutes, but if we're talking to the owner, then maybe we might stretch it out a little bit, but respect.
We're also up there schmoozing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my third thing. Go out and give back to the audience. Don't be afraid to go. A lot of people play and they go hide off someplace in a green room or someplace, and da-da-da-da-da. And I guess, when you get so big and you got so many people, you can't do that. But this intimate setting that we're in right now, go out and talk to your people. You see that one that was out there just going crazy, number one, you respect them for putting it out there for you, cheering you on. Number two, they'll probably buy you a shot.
Free drinks will be involved.
When we played that first gig at Reed's, the paid gig, this guy had just been, enjoying himself at the bar, and he says, I've been trying to buy you a beer all night. And it's like, okay, it's only the second set. And I said, I'd rather have a shot. He says, that's fine, have a shot. And this other gal come walking by there, and she goes, you're a hard person to buy a beer for. And I said, I'll take a shot. So the third set was kind of, I put it out there and I paid for it because I couldn't talk on Monday at my regular day job because because I had done Axl Rose's version of Knocking on Heaven's Door. And
I understand
went
that
out
one.
in the audience, giving the mic to them, knocking, and coming back, and I'm screaming. Yeah, I paid for it. I was feeling good, didn't feel any pain, and I could.
I was well lubricated.
So go out and meet your people. Meet who came out there. They took time to come out and see you. Respect their time. Respect that they actually want to meet you. They want to talk to you. And it's always. And sometimes it's like your guitar player needs to turn up. Okay. Turn it up. Turn it up to 11. That was the other guy at Reed's. You know what? He come back after that. Man, I can be an obnoxious a-hole. I know, but thanks for not getting mad at me. And it's like, look, we can't hear what you hear out there, so we needed that feedback. What we hear up here on the monitors is totally different. So don't worry about it. You're out there telling us, what we needed to do. It's just that we didn't have enough show left at the end of the night to actually make an adjustment. So, and because we don't have a sound man. So that's one of the things. I guess that'd be the fourth thing. Get a sound guy if you're out there.
And don't piss him off.
Don't piss off the sound guy.
I think being a sound guy is to because I just bought a PA, so it's hard to find a sound guy and then have the money to pay a sound guy. Not refusing to get one, but also like to think that it's a learning experience for us to learn to do our own sound.
Right.
That's true.
Nothing against the guy who wants to do it. If he wants to do it, great.
Thank you.
Don't have a problem with that at all. So, like you said, be kind of your sound guy.
And I would like to stress, ultimately, it is about fun, but kind of approach it somewhat from with a business-like perspective. You're in a bar. We're human. You're gonna make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up, but just try to do the best you can do. Not to the point where it stresses you out, but present the best performance that you can for the audience, because those people come out. They take time out of their busy schedules. They take money out of their pockets to be entertained. I kind of look at being a live musician or being a musician in general as almost being a public servant. And you're blessed enough to be able to artistically express yourself by being a public servant. But if you're a musician or a band and you have the mentality that I'm up here being me, doing me, which you need to be to a degree, and to heck with the audience, I don't care what they think or how they feel, that's a very negative and messed up way to feel. They're there to see you. To me, they're an extension of the band. What's on stage? We should make each other feel good.
Yep.
So have fun, but look at it from a business perspective. As far as advice for younger musicians or older musicians who are starting out, make, not in a conceited or arrogant way, but make your presence known. Because if people don't know about you, how can they come out and support? And don't be selfish, and don't promote other people.
Absolutely.
You'd be surprised that just doing that. You did it with us. A lot of people have done it with us. Hey, yeah, Scott put stuff on his Facebook page. Well, he has a band now, so let's promote him.
Absolutely.
And as far as recording and things like that, I do agree with you when you were saying that you don't want to be like sloppy and just rush, jump the gun. But if you're somewhat decent, or you've gotten to that point, use a handheld camera, and record yourself, a camera phone. Most people can get the gist of what you're trying to do.
Right.
Because there could be a situation where you can't afford studio time and a fancy camera setup. So get it in shape somewhat.
As long as you're tight.
Yeah.
As long as everything is tight and everybody is on the same page, you should be fine.
And make yourself known. Make your presence known. Don't be afraid to post something up on YouTube or Facebook, or go to a person at a venue, or go up to a band that's playing at the time. Hey, I've got a band, blah, 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 and we like you guys. Are there any pointers you can give us? Yeah. You'd be surprised. The vast majority of musicians are cool. And they'll say, well, yeah, blah, 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 do this or don't do that. And in return, when you become that person up on stage playing and you see the guys or girls who come up to you, be courteous and be helpful. Do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Tight endings.
Tight endings.
Linda came up to us after our open mic over at Reed's, after they were calling for us to do more songs. She comes up and she goes, you know what? I got a band, da-da-da, but we can never get tight endings. You guys have tight endings. If we didn't have Backlash for a name,
it would have been tight endings.
Boy, the T-shirt would have been a whole lot different.
Could you imagine what you would use to promote that?
Nice booty.
But that, that was her
goodness.
advice and her take on what we were doing, and we were fresh out of the box.
Yeah.
I never thought about tight. That's just the way we practice. We're deliberate about how we end a song. And it's like, well,
You'd be surprised how
endings.
many people notice that type of thing. Certain things with a song, tight endings, starting together. It's just it.
Stops in the middle.
Yeah, it's
And
just
it's right there.
It's. You'd be surprised.
You can be off pitch a little, but if you know where to come in, they won't notice the off pitch that much. But if you miss where you're supposed to come in
Yeah.
on the vocals or in a lead or any kind of thing, that is like it's out of cadence.
Yeah.
It's something, if it's something that stands out and it's not there, they're going to notice.
Yeah.
Yep. You're correct. And you only have a short amount of time to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Or it's going to go off the rails.
And you never acknowledge it. You just go on through.
Exactly.
Push on through.
Exactly.
You always get that one person, you see that look on their face like, okay. Like, did something just happen? I'm not really sure.
No.
We're good.
We're good.
All right, guys. Well, this has been absolutely awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, you guys being on the show, it's going to reach so many people, and them just going back and listening to what all the wonderful things that you said and trying to apply it to what they're trying to do and give and take of what they can add to their repertoire of hopefully becoming successful and doing what we're all trying to do and entertain the crowd and enjoy ourselves and do what we do. But again, appreciate you guys coming on, and there's going to be many more good things to come. Does anybody have any last words before?
Yes. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Absolutely. I
And,
appreciate it.
and support. Neil is a dynamite singer. I'm using the old 70s. Dynamite, but he is an awesome singer
I
and front
appreciate it.
person. You get tired watching Neil. It's like,
What's the name of his band?
Moonshine Mafia.
Mafia.
Great,
Thank you
great
guys.
player,
Appreciate it.
seasoned musicians, great front person with a great voice. It's not like a situation where the guy puts on a good show, but can he really sing? Yes, this man does both.
I appreciate that, guys.
Support all the local musicians.
Support your local band.
Support your local bands. If you're in a band, support your band, but support the next person's
Absolutely.
band as well.
Absolutely.
Tip your bartenders and your waitresses.
Don't piss off the sound man.
And don't piss.
The sound person. And
Words to live by, man. I'm
sir.
telling you.
And please check us out if you have, an opportunity or a chance to. Our Facebook page is Backlash Band Atlanta. Our Instagram page is Backlash Band Atlanta, all together in lowercase letters. And you can check us out on the Backlash Band Atlanta YouTube channel, which is actually under my name because I didn't know how to switch it
What's
out.
your name?
Scott Mitchum,
Thank you.
Mitcham. I didn't know how to.
You can just hit Backlash Band Atlanta and
And it'll pop
bring
up.
it up.
Yeah, but that's the only reason why the channel is still under my name.
And please, a little disclaimer here. Those videos were taken by our band mom, Helen. Thank you, Helen, for all
Thank
that you
you.
do. But they're cell phone quality.
Yeah.
So they may be a little bit
Very
muddy
nice.
for some of them. We had one from Hop Frog that they recorded through the board. Which song was that? Do you remember?
I think it was Lunatic
Lunatic
Fringe.
Lunatic Fringe that Brad recorded through the board. Maybe a little better sound quality. I didn't know the difference, so I haven't really listened through to it. But what we are able to do and put broadcast out there, we went from her going like this. She actually bought a tripod and put it up on top. You're going to have people going by dancing
Sure.
and stuff. But overall, it doesn't sound that bad, and we've got booked on those videos.
It captures the essence
Yeah,
of the band.
exactly.
And that was the
Exactly.
advice I was trying to give
Exactly.
to younger,
Right.
of not necessarily younger, but bands that are starting out.
Okay.
As long as you can capture that essence.
All right. Fantastic. Well, you've heard it here. on the latest edition of Local Bands of Georgia. We're going to have all of their information up at the end of this video. And again, thank you for tuning in and continuing to spread the word of the local music scene, because we are the ones that will have to do it. And thank you for all the support that you've given everybody. Continue to support Backlash, like their pages, share their pages, watch their videos, and let's just continue to help out the local music scene. All right, I am Neil Sponsel. This has been Backlash.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Neil.
We'll see you again on the next edition of Local Bands of Georgia.